Hello, hello, there we go, there I am. Hangout is live. Thank you very much for joining me today on Dylan Knows International. Got a full house today because there's some technical difficulties we're rolling through here, so I tried to rectify that. But now I've got 4 guests today, so we got a really good show. We got 5 people on. I got myself, got Mr. Kelly Toole from Smart Gallup Radio. Say hi, Kel.
Hi, everybody. Kelly Toole at KELLYTHUL on Twitter. I spell it right every time.
Thank you very much. And then next to Kelly, on my screen anyway, we got Jeans. Jeans got her own show also. Bring Out Your Geek. You want to talk about that a little bit, Jeans?
Yeah, actually, Young Jeans on Twitter, YEUNGJEANS. We're all going to spell, and I do a show actually with Bronwyn on BringOutYourGeek.com, all things nerdy and geeky.
Then we got Bronwyn, who does the show, as Jean said, and does Dylan Knows International with me as well. Bronwyn, say hi. And you're frozen.
Hello, everybody. I'm
we might have lost
Shiny Baby.
There we go.
Shiny and Baby, and then B. And then we have Brienne.
And then Brienne, who doesn't have a show, but is a unusual regular on Dylan Knows International, and will be on my Doctor Who show next week. So hi, say hi, Brianna.
Nice.
Brianna, Professor, I should say.
Show.
Professor Brienne.
Yeah.
And I am Hollidill, HOLIDILL. So welcome to Dylan Knows International. For those who don't know, this show is just basically me and these crazy guys and gals just talk about whatever we feel like talking about. It's the last Sunday of the month. Well, not technically, there's a 5th Sunday this month, but usually the 4th Sunday of the month is always going to be Dylan Knows International with Bronwyn and our myriad of guests. So got some good ones coming up. So for those who are familiar with the show, we always start off the show with a rant. And let's go down the line. Let's say, Kelly, you got a rant for us today.
Sure.
Whatever you want, man. Whatever you want.
I'm a Mr. Laid Back, cool. I just don't get excited about too much. But if I had to pick something to rant about, it would be when a person develops a list to keep track of people who have treated them unjustly. You would think that people, when they were placed on that list, would view it with dismay or concern. And my experience has been my list of people who have wronged me, people want to be on that list, and I think that's wrong. So I don't. And matter of fact, I think the next person we'll hear from is a perfect example of the type of person that is like perfectly okay with being on the enemies of the state list that I maintain. But I just kind of wish they'd feel a little sad about it. And so my rant is, people don't feel sad when I put them on enemies of the state.
You might want to look at the benefits package there, Kel.
Well, it's just, you would think you wouldn't, I don't know, but that's all I got.
Yeah, you think you wouldn't want to be an enemy of the state. You think you want to be a friend of the state. So.
You would think.
You think, but you'd be wrong.
It took me about 30 seconds to realize he was serious because I thought he was talking about Arya and the Hound, and we were going to go on a Game of Thrones tangent. And I was like, oh, no, like, people legitimately do that, apparently. Okay.
No, I do.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the. I'm on several of those lists, and
Yes.
I'm actually waiting for like the Supreme Ruler of Enemy of the State title. Yeah.
You've got to get, which you've earned.
Yeah.
I just haven't found the right language because I had, so Brienne, so I had an enemies of the state list, and what I found out was it wasn't sufficient because there were some people who were even worse than just being an enemy of the state. So I had to develop a second list, which was an ultra enemies of the state list, which Jeans has been gladly moving along through every iteration that I create through there. And so there still needs to be some special list for Jeans, but we'll get there. But
like, do you have a chanting prayer? Like, this is exciting for me. Like, do you chant like Arya does, like before bed every night, your enemies of the state?
I do review the inequities. I do, you know.
Oh, God. Next, he'll be dancing with his sword.
Perhaps not.
Awesome.
But enough about me. Maybe we can go to the next round.
Yeah, we'll go. So yeah, let's listen. So let's talk to the major enemy of the state. Jeans, do you have some sort of rant you want to discuss today? Anything at all, whatever you feel like.
People who pick their nose in cars bother me immensely. You are not in a bubble. Everyone can see you. Knock that shit off. There you go.
Why do people think they're in private? Because the doors are closed. You have
I don't know,
windows all
but
around you.
if I get in a car, it is 99% likely that the person in the car next to me will be picking their nose. So, at some point in time throughout the drive, I don't know if I'm just more like if I just pay attention more to people that are next to me, but it is all the time.
Oh, jeez. So,
Thank
Brianne, do you have one for us today?
No, actually, no. My general rant lately, I've been sick like all week long. I've got this flu virus. So when I'm sick, I tend to like just sit on the computer and do stupid things. And people on social media, they get so worked up over like nothing. And I don't get it. So I want a list, not like Kelly's list. I don't want an enemy of the state list, but I want a shit I need done around my house list. So if you want to tweet for 7 hours about a celebrity not liking some other celebrity, I got shit for you to do.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think I could participate in that as well. I have.
I'm totally on board.
Get done. Yeah.
Yeah, like
But
go
you still
clean
need
a road and
enemies.
then come back and bitch about like these two people not liking each other. That's cool. You can bitch about that, but I got shit for you to do.
Yeah. It's a good idea, but you
Yeah.
still need
Can
that
you
enemy
think
to the
about it
state.
and do my windows? Oh, I love it.
Do you have one, Bronwyn, today?
I did right up until everybody came up with something awesome, and now I've completely forgotten it because I'm thinking about people who pick their nose in cars and people who pick in my house. Although, in all fairness, I don't think those two lists should cross because I don't want people who pick their nose in cars cleaning my house.
Yeah, you don't want them washing your windows, right? Yeah.
Little lump like right across the side. Oh shit. Graphic too much. My bad.
I think maybe I'd have to wash my windows again.
They're so streaky.
Okay. Ah. Okay, so well, I guess I do have one thing. I play a lot of sports, and I love sports. I love playing sports. I play in a kind of a variety of leagues, from total beer league, rec kind of. It's more fun when people are terrible than when they're actually good, all the way up to, fairly competitive refs who are paid to be there, chance to provincials, play at a national level if you proceed further from there, kind of thing. And I love that whole range. I think you need to go into the sport with the idea of the level of competition that is actually going to be there, right? So when I go to play my competitive sports, I expect to play competitively. But when I go to my rec league sports, I expect people to be sportsmanlike. Like, that's the whole point. I expect people to be sportsmanlike across the board, but there's different degrees of sportsmanlike. And I think in rec league sports, sportsmanlike needs to be the priority above everything else, including competitive nature. Following the rule. You need to be okay with everybody playing at their own who have the least amount of experience, not up to the level of the people with the most. That's the difference in degree of competitiveness, right? So I guess my little rant from this weekend is just when you're playing a total rec league or people who have no idea what's going on, maybe cut the douchebag down a notch. So, maybe be nice to each other. Maybe as an adult, we'd be nice to each other. Like, I know it's a wholly unfamiliar concept to people, but maybe we can just, be nice to each other.
Yeah, sports are meant to be for fun, and yeah, there are those highly competitive ones, and sometimes, it gets really annoying when, oh, look, I got a home run off you. Yeah, but you're still losing 7-1, Oh, yeah, you got one by us, hooray, But, sports has always been interesting. I'm sorry, Bron, what were you going to say?
Well, I just, maybe just when somebody is winning 20-0, or something like that, whatever sport you're on, maybe you don't need to rub it in their faces every time you score. Or maybe if you're playing adult.
Sore winners are almost as bad as sore losers.
Oh, we're so, especially in rec league. You know, have a little grace on both sides, really, but have a little grace, right? You know, or we were playing dodgeball yesterday, and it was neat to play dodgeball with an adult. That's not something I'd anticipated doing, but it turned out to be super, super fun. But there's a couple of people out there who are like, they're whipping the ball at people's faces and stuff like that. No, wow, this is supposed to be a demonstration. Like, no, I mean, sure, if you can dodge a ridge, you can dodge a ball.
All I can think of right now is you in the podcast when you're like, make me bleed my own blood.
Exactly. Fortunately, nobody made me bleed my own blood.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Nobody.
It's I'm not a huge fan of that movie. That is definitely like a cry or laugh moment. That's my favorite part.
So good. Yeah, it got quoted a lot.
It's one of those popular ones out there. Mine, surprisingly, no surprise to Brianne and Bronwyn, is about parking again.
I knew it.
It actually wasn't going to be. I was going to have a rant today about yield signs and motorcycles also, but I said, you know what, this just really pissed me off. I took my daughter to an arts and crafts store yesterday in the shopping center called Valley Center, and it's one of the absolute worst parking lots you could ever go to. And the reason is, it's one of these strip malls, so they're all right on the road. So you're driving on the road, and you got the parking spots over here. So there's little lanes for fire lanes or for quick pickups or whatever. Somebody's there just to run down to the store, pick something up, and leave. Well, apparently, and this isn't just one person; it's multiple people have decided. You know what? This is going to be my parking spot, and all I got to do is put my little flashers on and say, "Oh, it's a hazard." So they park in the fire lane, walk out the door, and go in the store for like 10 minutes. That's not what those lanes are for, okay? The lanes are fire lanes in case the store's on fire, or they're to drop off elderly people or children or whatever with their parents while the dad or the mom drives to find a parking spot so they can get their shopping started. It's not for you to say, you know what, I don't feel like walking 5 feet from the parking lot to the door, so I'm just going to park right here so I can just go right on in, and then I'll take my sweet old time. And the roads are narrow enough that you've got to weave your way around these people who have parked all on these spots. I mean, they're not meant to be parking spots, and it absolutely drives me insane about that kind of stuff.
Makes me want to pull a fire alarm.
Oh yeah, I think I mentioned that before. They had similar on my street. We have to get onto our road. There's a hill, and you're not allowed to park on one side. You can park on one side, but not the other. But there are cars that park on both sides, and a fire truck cannot get through there. So if your house is on fire and there's people parked on both sides, your house is going up in flames. I'm sorry, because they can't get the fire truck down there. Have
you had a Dylan Knows Parking show? Because I feel like there needs to be Dylan Knows Parking with like visual aids and a whole lesson.
Some slides.
That'll just blow up the internet. that is the programming people have been looking for, is more parking-related video podcasts.
And then it'll be Dylan Knows the Grammar Nazi.
I'm just as bad with grammar than everyone else is. So. Cool. All right. So that was fun, entertaining. So let's get into the meat of some stuff. As everybody knows, yesterday was the first day of summer, and I felt, you know what, it'd be a good time to reflect on, and just to get to know you guys a little bit better. Any places you'd love to go during the summer, or where you're going this summer if you're going on a vacation this summer. Brianna, you got any plans this summer, or what is like your favorite spots you've gone to?
Gosh, we like Well, all only place we're going to is we're going to the last, because now they're talking about it not being last, Stargate convention. And I volunteer because I'm just not into the whole sit in the back of the room and watch the celebrities talk about themselves. But I like going to a convention, so I volunteer, then I get to attend, and I can skip out without paying. But that's pretty much our big thing. But we like to go abroad. I've been taking the kids abroad. We just got back from Niagara, took the kids to Canada. We went to the UK. I might have to go to Colombia for work, to Medellin, so I'm going to take the kids back to Medellin if I have to go. So yeah, I want to leave the country if I can as much as possible lately. Nothing against the U.S. I just feel like leaving.
Do you have any favorite, summer vacations you took when you were younger, or any with your family besides the ones you've been going on lately?
Gosh, the best. That's a hard thing. My kids really liked the UK a lot. They really loved London, and they constantly talk about it. So I guess that's the more recent one. But we're really big on just getting in the car and going. Although, and Bronwyn, you need to get a passport. You have a passport, right? You need to come do this.
Oh, I have a passport.
Have you ever been to Amish country? Have you guys been to Amish country?
No.
Oh yeah.
I grew up in Amish country, the Indiana version of Amish country, but
it's so good because it's an eating vacation. Like, you go down and it's tourist hell, especially like in Lancaster. It is like Amish themed everything, and they're not really Amish because they're people just dressed up pretending to be, but it's a food vacation, and it's sinful, and it's wonderful, and it's delicious, and yeah, I think that's what I need to do this summer. I haven't even planned it.
That sounds great.
I went to school up in Pennsylvania, right near Amish country, and there are some true Amish people up there, obviously. And I always remember when my dad always took me back to school, he always took this back route, which we were on this one portion of it was a 2-lane highway. So you're going and they're coming, and you were screwed basically if you were stuck behind one of the Amish guys, because they were in their cars and buggies with the horse, and you really can't go around them because you've got the double line. And I mean, you could probably go around them. It's one of those things where, okay, they're holding up the line, let's get moving. But still, you got to be careful because that is that other lane. It's a busy road, but you get stuck behind those Amish people. It's kind of interesting to see that. And then you drive past like the Home Depot, and then you see a bunch of the horses, tied up on the posts and stuff like that, and your little carriages sitting there. And so, yeah, obviously, I mean, they go into Home Depot every once in a while, pick up some tools and stuff. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, Amish country food, yes, is definitely something that everybody needs to experience sometime in their life.
Yeah, the northern Indiana Amish community is, so it's kind of interesting that, one, you start to see hitching posts at Walmart. Yep. You're in kind of a different world when there's that going on. The part of the Indiana I grew up in, there's a lot of Amish, and then there are also Mennonites, which are kind of like gangster Amish. They'll drive cars. They won't be flashy cars, but they'll drive cars, and they can have electricity and stuff like that. And so the Toole family moved into this Mennonite Amish community on a Friday the 13th, and then on a Sunday, the Roman Catholic beer-drinking, smoking father gets on his riding lawnmower and mows the lawn, and basically the community determined that Satan had returned to Goshen.
Oh, no! That's awesome. Wow, that's dramatic.
So that was...
So how long did you live there then, Cal?
Well, against the neighbor's wishes, a fairly long time. So, I grew all up right up until college, so I was in Indiana basically until I went to college. So.
Well, then, where did you have any fun vacation spots you went to when you were younger, or stuff you're taking the kids to now?
So we're, and I think it's been well documented, pretty big Disney fan here, and so we We like to get down there at Walt Disney World or Disneyland as often as we can. Summer's a little tougher for Florida in terms of it's a little less pleasant to be cruising around there, but anytime's a good time. So if we can figure out a time, particularly on the edges of summer, beginning or end, to where the temperatures are dropping, we always love to go to Disney and do that. And then outside of that, get back into Indiana, where there are a number of lakes and those types of things, and do a little bit of stuff out there.
Is that what you did when you were a kid then? Just hang out at the lakes and stuff like that?
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, as far as for the public record, that's pretty much what I did. I'm going to say it's like that. And, you know, read to orphans and nurtured baby birds back to health and hit the library.
Jeans, any exciting summer plans for you or anything from your past?
Yeah, I have to say that New Orleans is probably the most fun, even in the summer. I mean, it's ridiculously hot there, but even in the summer, it's just a lot of fun, and I love that you can walk everywhere. I mean, you get up in the morning and there's condensation on your windows, so if you're not like familiar with it, you think it's kind of raining for a minute because it's like so wet. And you sweat everywhere you go, so you go inside and there's air conditioning, and then like your outer clothes dry, but not your underclothes, which makes for, you know, an interesting conundrum. Yeah, I know, right? And so you're a little chilly, but you know, indoors, and you're like hot and sweaty outdoors, but it's still fun. It's there's something to see everywhere you go. There's excellent food, and I don't really like Bourbon Street at night so much, but during the day it's fine. At night it's just bizarre. Even if you're not going during Mardi Gras, I mean, there were like people with strollers, children in strollers at like 10 o'clock at night. It was just bizarre. Like, standing right next to the woman who's pulling up her shirt for beads. So it was a little, not my thing. I was irritated that there were children there, and I was uncomfortable that there were people stripping, so it was probably just a place for me to avoid. It was just awkward. But the rest of it, I mean, there's all kinds of places to go at night. You don't have to go to Bourbon Street. It's just, you know, I think it's something you should experience probably at least once, you know.
Now, I've never actually been before. Is there any like beaches around northern New Orleans, or like places, because they're right on the Gulf, right? So I mean, is there anything that if you wanted to go swimming, you could, you know, just jump in the water, or is there like a beach or something out there?
Not that I saw. I mean, there's it's really more like on the river. It's not. I don't think it's like directly on the Gulf. It's kind of more on the river, and there's more like swampy, marshy type territory.
Yeah, depending on the weather, because some years it's actually in the Gulf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, you know, below sea level, so.
Yeah. So, but it's there's river tours but I never saw anything about going to like the ocean. Everything happened like on the river.
Yeah. So just north of New Orleans, there's Lake Pontchartrain, which is it's like a massive lake.
Yeah.
Just north of. Did you get a chance to get to the? Cause that might be a place they have beaches. Did you hit that at all?
Flew over it.
Yeah, it's cool when you fly over it, doesn't it? It's a big lake.
But that's about it.
Okay. No, but I just that's one place that I wouldn't mind going to, because my mom actually has family down there, and so technically I guess they're related to me. It's like second, third cousin, something like that, and I met them a couple times. So, and it sounds like a very interesting place to go. I mean, there have been a few times I've been invited to go down there, just time it just never worked out. So that might be something interesting to do. Bronwyn, what about you? Any big plans this summer, or did you do anything exciting when you were younger?
Yeah, we always did some fun trips in the summer when I was younger. I'm originally from the East Coast, and so we every summer would take a few weeks as a family and drive out to Nova Scotia and to like Chester Basin and see Cape Breton and PEI and all sorts of things to see all our East Coast family. So that was always wonderful. We'd camp with my parents and you know, play card games by the light of a mag light hanging from the center of the tent, and you know, go out and see our cousins that we didn't get to see that frequently. I have like a passel of cousins. So it was always entertaining, and we'd go out to the ocean, and we'd get to swim and play on the shore and the rocks and stuff like that. And there's a neat little artist community that we used to go to all the time, and my dad's a big fan of local folk art and things like that. So we would get art supplies and do crafting and things like that. So that was always a highlight of my summer, is the family trip out east. This summer is sort of one of those times it's difficult to take time off because it's both very busy at work and everybody else wants summer vacation when I tend to prefer spring and fall. So I will probably just be trying to get out golfing this summer.
But you also have a long distance romance that keeps you busy as well.
Exactly. So I'm always excited to have Steve come here. So that's nice. He's coming again next weekend.
Yay!
Yeah. Are you going down to see him sometime this summer?
I am, but again in October.
Okay, fall's good. Fall's good. Excellent. Let's see. This year, as always, I tend to go down with Dawn, my wife's family. We usually get a nice beach house down at the Outer Banks, North Carolina. This year, however, it's going to be a different story, and I can't believe I actually agreed to this, but we're going to be going to Virginia Beach this year with all of Dawn's family, including her cousins. We're talking 11 children between the ages of 2 and 8.
May the force be with you.
No kidding. I know, right?
And to be fair, we do also have we do have Dawn's parents, so Nana and Dad are going to be there, and then her cousins, Dawn's aunt, her 2 kids, they're going to have their grandma there, so we'll have 3 grandparents there, but still, it's 2 and 8, and it's mostly boys.
But you see, I was going to say, you sound like you're still outnumbered.
Oh yeah, there's 3 girls and 8 boys, I guess. Would that
No,
be
this is good. This is good because if you've got 11 kids, you've got a soccer team right there. Go out, find a pitch, find some local kids to pitch them up against, and then tucker them right out.
Nice. Exactly. And the one things we are going to do is, and this is my decision, is I'm gonna force them to build sandcastles. So. My own little army to build. But the thing is,
that doesn't sound scarring at all.
I can hear it now in the therapist office. My father made me.
It's not tall enough. It's not tall enough.
He's an architect. He had very exacting specifications. Nothing I could do was right.
Kick it down. Where are the
There's
parents?
that heavy bucket of water all the way from the ocean to this place. Yes.
Nope. Take it
drop
back.
it.
The concentration's wrong.
Well, what's great though is that it will be right on the beach, which is the first for us. So I mean, it's beachfront. We've got a nice swimming pool, and it's just going to be odd, not just with all the kids around, but everyone has their own set schedules, and I'm listening to everyone trying to figure out how we're going to do dinners, and it's almost like it's going to be a free-for-all. It's like, whenever it's your dinner time, go and cook whatever you want, So it's going to be kind of, we got to work on some sort of scheduling thing, I think, or it's going to be total madhouse. But that should be interesting. I've been to a bunch of really cool places when I was younger. My dad, when he got remarried after he divorced my mom, one of my stepmom's best friends was a travel agent, and they would always book these really great trips. And this is when I was a teenager, so I was able to appreciate a bit more. We went out to, we did a Seattle, drove to Vancouver, Victoria Island, which I absolutely adore. Have you ever been to Victoria Island? Anybody?
Nope.
No.
Oh,
I haven't been any further west than Banff.
If you get a chance, everyone should take a chance to just head out to Victoria Island. I mean, it is a gorgeous island, temperate temperatures, just absolutely gorgeous. It's one of my favorite things, trips I've ever been to. And San Francisco, we've been to San Francisco before. Went to San Francisco, did L.A., San Francisco, and San Diego one summer, which was interesting. Did Disneyland, which is actually the only Disney I've ever been to. I've never been to Disney World, so that's something that's on the bucket list, as it were. No, I'm not going to answer it.
It's actually Disney's marketing company because they're very tuned into social media and they're going to set you up. So you might want to take that call.
I've still yet to be to Disney in North America.
Let me mute this. Someone else talk right now.
So, you say you haven't been to Disney North America, which implies you've been to Disney in other countries?
Yeah, it's funny actually. My parents, like our whole family, we love like Disney movies, but we've never been, because we always visit family as part of vacation. We've never really just done a vacation to go somewhere as a family, right? But my parents were big into supporting us traveling as children, so I spent a month in Japan when I was in early high school, and so I went to Tokyo Disney, and my brother did an exchange program, just sort of informal with the families that we knew, and he ended up in Belgium for 4 or 5 weeks when he was preteen kind of age, and so he's been to Euro Disney, but none of us have actually been to a Disney on the continent.
Is Euro Disney even around anymore?
Oh, we don't have Disney. We have Wonderland, which is awesome, but not the same.
Yeah. So does Tokyo Disney, is it just like Mothra and Godzilla with Mickey Mouse ears and stuff like that?
Not quite.
It should be.
It's got a lot of. I mean, as I said, I've never been to Disney in North America, so I don't know how to compare it to. It's the only Disney I've been to. So, Minnie Mouse was very flirty. It was very entertaining. She was flipping up her skirt the whole time. I'm like, I don't know if this is canon. But Goofy was a lot of fun to hang out with, and I really enjoyed. What was the ride? Mountain something Mountain.
Space Mountain or Big Thunder Mountain.
Loved that.
Lots of different mountains.
Lots of mountains.
Big Godzilla Mountain.
Pay too much for a T-shirt mountain. That's a good one.
See, at least in Japan, I didn't know what anything said. I couldn't really, without my guidebook there and 20 minutes to try and understand what the katakana is. Like, katakana I can actually understand, but kanji? No, there's no chance, right? So I couldn't read anything, so everything just looked cool.
Disneyland is interesting. I went a long time ago. I went back in the, I had to have been, I don't know, maybe 30 years ago, maybe, something like that. It's been a long time since I've been out there. But we went on 4th of July week, which was very cool because we were at the hotel that actually looked onto Disney. So, I mean, you could just walk and you're in Disneyland. So we got one of those early morning passes. You get in early before everybody else does. And the 4th of July, I mean, the fireworks every night, you can see them from your room every night. And then the 4th of July fireworks were just like double the regular one. But, yeah, they had the usual stuff, Big Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain. At the time, Star Tours was pretty big at that time, so it must have been late 80s then probably. But, yeah, I've never actually been to Disney World. Dawn has, and it's fairly interesting. And it's interesting you mentioned that, Kel. My boss is actually in Disney World right now on his vacation with his family, so they always tend to go. They seem to go often, maybe once or twice a year sometimes. They also hit around Christmas time, which is another good time apparently because it's not quite as busy as it is during the summer. So, and it's Florida, so I mean, yeah, it might get chilly, but it's still pretty comfortable down there in December. So, and other stuff I've been to, Yellowstone National Park, Grand Teton National Park. If you ever get a chance to go out and see those national parks, just any national park really is a great summer vacation for everybody. So, I think we hit that one to the ground. Bronwyn, you said you want to talk about obsessions. So, what's your recent obsession now?
Oh, my recent obsession is Pokemon. I cannot. It's so funny. Okay, so I have this thing with my friends, and if you know me at all, you'll know this to be true. Is that while I adore video games and I enjoy all different types of platforms and things like that, I am so bad at them. It's ridiculous. Like, everyone is kind of, oh no, you can't honestly be that bad at it. Here, try this. And it doesn't seem to matter what you give me in terms of, like, I'm not good at computer games, I'm not good at platform games, I can't even play the Wii successfully. So, handheld device is not as bad. So, like, games on my phone I'm actually okay on. They're not real games, right? So my boyfriend's a big gamer. He loves video games, and he's so good at them. So he has taken it on as his personal mission to get me to be able to play video games. So he brought me his DS the last visit, and he wiped all the memory from his game from Pokemon Pearl and set it up for me so I could start from scratch and I could learn this game. And I have been completely addicted to it. Now again, it's DS, so it's handheld, so I don't have this struggle with the with the controllers or trying to process visual data too quickly or anything like that. And so I am just absolutely addicted to this game now. I've logged like 65 hours since he gave it to me. It's like a week and a half of a full-time job, and he gave it to me 3 weeks ago.
You are obsessed. That's a lot.
Yeah, right. I play it before I go to bed. I play it on my lunch hour of work. I play it when I watch TV, and I don't even get to watch that much TV these days because I've been playing Pokemon. So I don't even know how this little game, when he first gave it to me, I was like, oh, okay, sure, I'll play it, but I don't know. And then, I don't know, 20 minutes later, I was like, okay, just stop talking to me. I need to play Pokemon. They get to evolve, and you get to collect all these little creatures, and they're so cute. It's awesome. So yeah, that's where my life has been for the last 3 weeks.
That's all right.
Sports, I've run races, but if I am not outside, I am inside playing Pokemon.
It's a good way to spend your summer, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, especially for me, I mean, I can't go out without 2 layers of SPF 60, right? Like I went out for a run yesterday morning, and I ran first thing in the morning, and so I, coated before and after. And after was awkward because I was covered in color. I come home, scrub everything off, spray again, go out and play some more, sports, do some dodgeball, come back in, spray. So Pokemon's safer for my complexion.
Jeans, do you have any obsessions you've been dealing with lately, or anything that just you like doing a lot or often?
I don't know. I have been watching a lot of like 80s movies. A lot. I watched 3 Men and a Baby.
Nice.
I knew I was like on this total Tom Selleck kick for whatever reason. It's like Quigley Down Under.
Oh my god.
I forgot that. Oh my god.
That's Alan Rickman now. You got Alan Rickman in that, though, so you gotta love that.
Yeah, Alan Rickman, and whom I love. I just anything he's in, I could sit and watch. But yeah, I watched like Golden Child, and I watched Beverly Hills Cop and Goonies, and yeah, I just went through like this streak of 80s movies, and I don't know. What About Bob? Richard Dreyfuss.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about Weekend at Bernie's?
And Clue, of course. We've been watching a lot of Clue, so
Flames. It was fantastic.
Flames on the side of my face. Yeah. Just.
There's no need to shout. I'm not shouting. All right, I am.
I'm shouting.
Why is the car stopped? It's frightened.
My kids got the game, and I want to show them the movie, and I went to get it. My husband was like, no. Do not show the he's like, no, there's that. Oh, never mind. Trot.
I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little difficult to explain, and I have a little person running around the house who thinks that's like hilarious and keeps telling that joke to people that don't haven't seen the movie, and so they don't quite. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Out of context, it's not as funny.
Really? You're like, okay, thank you very much.
From a 9-year-old, that's great. Yeah.
I'm a plant. I thought guys like you were called a fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of Dawn and I's absolute go-to, absolute favorite films of all time. We can watch it at any time, anywhere, and it is just, it keeps getting funnier and funnier every time you see it. No matter how many times you see it, you just have to laugh your ass off because it's one of those funniest movies ever out there. Have you seen it before, Kelly?
Yes, I have, and enjoy it as well. And it was interesting too because when that actually hit the theaters, you were limited to whatever ending they had lined up for that theater.
Exactly.
They had the 3 different endings, and so it's kind of cool when the DVD came out and you got to see the other alternatives. So yeah, it was good. And I'm a big Martin Mull fan, so Tim Curry. So a couple favorites in there, and it's a great movie.
Madeline Kahn. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
her.
Jeez, and Michael McKean, just he was almost unrecognizable because you're used to him as was that Lenny from
Stock.
Laverne and Shirley, and
That guy,
then,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden he's Mr. Green. It's like, whoa, that's Michael McKean? Yeah, it is. It really is. Or yeah, or even from Spinal
That's what his
Tap
name
too.
was.
It's
Yes,
like,
David
wow.
St. Hutchinson.
Not Bron, Brian, do you have anything obsessed that you've been obsessing about lately?
I have. It is an obsession, but it's more of a coping technique because, like, now that I've sold my soul to like VCU and ran off Macon, I don't have a life anymore. Like, they own my like. I evidently signed some contract to give them the rights to every thought, like, movement and breath I have. But I have a long-term obsession since I was in high school with Daniel Jackson, as anybody that follows me on Twitter knows, and is like, oh dear God, shut up. And it's an obsession. It's not, and it's been since the original Stargate movie in the 90s. I left the theater calling Charest a dirty whore.
Oh God, that is awesome.
I did.
He is so adorable in that movie. I fell in
I
love with him
love that
too.
movie.
Oh,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Oh my God, and it was the character because it was hilarious because, like, you know, you fast forward to my 30s and I finally broke down and watched SG-1 when I was like, well, actually, right after I turned 30, and because I refused. I was like, TV screws up everything. I refused. It was like, I knew. I like fell in love all over again, and it was the same thing. And later, we were watching Burn Notice, and Michael Shanks came on as Victor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And my husband was like watching, and I was like, oh, what a hot bad guy. Like, they never have hot bad guys on here. They're always creepy. And my husband looks over it and he was like, that's Daniel Jackson. I was like, Daniel Jackson's hot? I never noticed. And I really hadn't, because I have like such
Of
like
course
a
you didn't.
vision on like the character, the personality. It like never occurred to me ever. Then I go back and I'm looking, I'm like, how did I miss that? So, but it is my obsession. See, it's my notebook of things to do.
Oh, that is amazing.
Oh, wait. Here. See, it says not even then? Hold on. Yeah, it's an obsession. You see my tattoo?
Oh, that's awesome.
See, that qualifies.
Yep. It's okay. I've got a Doctor Who tattoo.
Trying to figure out how much of me I just flashed on the internet while I was like lifting my leg to a computer.
You're good. Protected your dignity.
Excellent.
Kelly, you got anything you've been obsessing about lately, or no?
Oh no, I never obsess about anything, do I, Jeans? How would Johnny Depp refer to my obsession, Jeans? That Cooper woman.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Go and watch the Koopa woman.
That's right. I'm 112% obsessed with Alice Cooper and have been forever. And I've seen him now around 20 times in concert.
How many times?
20.
Because we asked you, I want to say I asked you last year, and you said it was 18 or 19, and you weren't sure. So have you actually sat down and counted, or is that a ballpark?
I'm still going through the records because a couple of the concerts are all a little fuzzy. But
I may have blacked out.
Solid,
I don't know.
A good solid 20. We're a solid 20, may even be 21. So he's called both of my daughters Poison, which is like a special moment to me. When he's singing the song Poison, he goes, "You're poison." He's pointing in the crowd. We were third row, and they both got the direct Alice point on Poison. I was like, "Oh, this is so cool. He's calling you Poison." So, but it's just, I like rock and roll. You get 30 or 90 minutes of incredible rock and roll, and you get a show. And you get basically the same story with different nuances of Alice shows up, Alice is bad, Alice gets punished, Alice sings Schools Out. So that's a concert, and it's pretty cool. So there's life lessons in there, and what will always be kind of my favorite father-daughter moment was when we saw him in Springfield, Illinois, at a kind of older theater environment. We're up in the balcony, and they come out at the end where it's the Alice Gets Punished portion of the show, and the executioner comes out and he's like, "Shall we hang him?" And everybody's like, "No!" And "Shall we burn him at the stake?" And everybody's like, "No!" "Shall we introduce him to Mademoiselle Guillotine?" Everybody's like, "Yes!" And so everybody starts chanting, "Guillotine! Guillotine!" So there's me and my daughter, fists up in the air, chanting guillotine for them to chop Alice's head off, which they then did. But then he came back. So.
Oh, and thus Tom Waits is just Alice Cooper with guillotine.
Yes, there you go. That's where that comes from.
That's parenting right there, Kelly. Chanting violent French forms of execution with your child. I love it.
It was special. It was
And we
good.
have a glitter bag.
And they're familiar with the blood zone, which is kind of because Alice gets, usually guillotined, then the executioner holds his head up and kind of puts the hand underneath the neck and then flicks the blood out in the crowd. And so if you're within the first 5 rows, you're in the blood zone, and that's pretty cool too.
That was Evil Dead the musical.
There you go. Yeah, it's kind of like a Gallagher show. I know, but it's good stuff. But no, I'm a big fan.
Like Gallagher, but with blood.
Yes.
He did a very nice job in Dark Shadows.
And Gallagher with blood.
I heard you. You can edit this, right? You can chop that out, Dylan.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Whoa, I wasn't paying attention. No, this is live, baby. My current obsession is, I'm going to have to blame Bronwyn a little bit on that, is Doctor Who. It was one of those things that back in December, I did a show called Dylan Doesn't Know Doctor Who, because I had never actually seen a Doctor Who episode ever in my whole life. And now, after seeing 2 full seasons, and we just saw the Runaway Bride episode the other night, I was like, why the hell didn't I start watching this show before now? And what's great is that Dawn shares my obsession with it also. She absolutely loves the show also. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was out celebrating my birthday a little bit. I took my daughter to Barnes & Noble, and they've got all kinds of really cool stuff. And so I bought her a Princess Funko, it was Jasmine. And I bought my son a Yoshi stuffed animal because he's obsessed with Mario Kart right now. And I bought my wife a Doctor Who novel, and she devoured it last night. She read the whole thing in one sitting, like that, out of here. And it's such a great show. And I'm not going to get into it in much detail because I am so obsessed with it that's what my show next week is going to be about, is Doctor Who. I've already got Brienne's going to be on it. I've got Janine, who has been watching. She says hello to you guys. So Janine says hi. I've got the Q&A up, so people have been throwing stuff up here. So, and I still have room for one more. So if anyone else is interested in doing a Doctor Who thing on Sunday, just let me know. But yeah, Eccleston. I loved Eccleston as Doctor Who, and then when Tennant first came on, I was not a big fan of the Christmas Invasion. And then gradually, as you started watching the second season more and more, I started to like Tennant a lot. So I still think Eccleston's still my favorite right now, but Tennant is an absolute close second. I haven't even touched Matt Smith yet, so I don't even know what's going on with that. So let me see. I know Brienne. I know Bronwyn. Jeans, you're a fan too, right?
Oh, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. Oh, yeah. Yep, and season 7 just came out on Netflix, so we've been watching a lot of that because we were going through a little bit of withdrawals. So, yeah, I love it. And you're not alone. I think we all got really attached to Eccleston, who unfortunately is not interested in, being fun with the fans. He's sort of like, I did it, it's over, I'm moving on. And when they first switched over to Tennant, a lot of us, Bronwyn and I have discussed this in depth. Like, we kind of didn't watch for a little bit because we were kind of had to get over it. And then we all got really attached to David Tennant and his hair, because his hair is fantastic.
The whole other element, right? There's David Tennant, and then there's his hair.
Yes. It is. It's like
and
a whole
also potentially a third with the sand shoes. You get the whole trifecta.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I love his eyes when they get all the buggy eyes, like it's fantastic. He's got the look, and then the ones we just watched the other day with the 3D glasses drove me absolutely crazy. He's like putting the 3D glasses on and then takes them off again, and just fantastic. I loved it. And Kelly, have you ever seen any Doctor Who or
the Tom Baker? So the Tom Baker series, when he was in Doctor Who, I watched that and really enjoyed it. But basically, when they flipped off of Tom Baker to the gentleman that followed him, and I can't remember his name, I kind of dropped off at that point and haven't come back. Not in a fit of anger. It just kind of drifted away. There were Alice Cooper concerts to go to. I had other things. So
I am still upset with Tom Baker over Jelly Babies because they're gross.
Hell yes. I loved him, but
Jelly Babies are disgusting. They are so gross.
You lie.
I was so excited when I went to England. I was like, I'm gonna try Jelly Babies, and just like Doctor Who. And I don't know. I think gummy bears had just come out, and or at least I had just been introduced to them, and I was really upset when I had my first Jelly Baby because it was not yummy. It made me mad. It made me angry. I was very disappointed.
I felt so betrayed.
Exactly. Doctor. Yeah.
It's annoying.
I'm glad. It's one of these things that I can't believe that I never actually watched it before, because it's like right up my alley. And just the stories are very well done. The acting is really good. The bad guys, the aliens, the just supernatural aspects, the futuristic aspects of it. It's an amazing show, and I'm really excited to continue to see what's going on. So we're trying to blow through these in time for August when Capaldi comes on. So we'll see. My stepdad, we got him the complete set that has the first 6 seasons, all complete sets, as well as the specials and some other stuff in there as well. So we're going to try to borrow all those from him and then watch them in like straight sittings, and then pick up maybe Netflix or maybe even just go out and buy the 7th season on DVD or whatever and just try to blow through those as well. God damn it. I should have sat here. It's election time, so it's probably an election thing.
Ring a ding ding, ring a ding ding, ring.
Yeah.
There we go. Just hung up on him. There we go. I'm doing a show. I'm a bastard. It's emergency. It's emergency.
I think one of the things that intrigued me the most when we started getting into the newest Doctor Who stuff, this iteration of it with Moffat, is that they have the ability to take something that is absolutely benign and everyday that you see all the time and turn it into something absolutely terrifying.
Stone angels.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Statues and mannequins and Wi-Fi and Christmas trees and yeah, and it just they have the ability to take something that's absolutely everyday. I had gone to the Art Institute in Chicago. I don't even think I could count the number of times that I had been there, and I hadn't gone for probably a decade. And I went this last summer, and they had an entire room, this enormous room, which was all like marble statues. And for whatever reason, they were renovating, and so they were all under sheets, and it freaked me the bleepity bleep out. Like I couldn't even look down the hall at the room. I was like, okay, yes, I'm talking to you, but I can't look. Oh no, it was disturbing at a very basic level. It was very primal fear.
Can't not look. Don't even blink.
My little girl, we went to the Renaissance Fair, 2, 3, I don't know, however many weeks ago. And there was a vendor who had all these necklaces like this one that I have on. They're just, different carved stones.
Yeah.
And they've got, of course, the hearts and knights, and because it's the Renaissance Fair. And they have kind of a religious section, and it's got crosses, and it had angels. And they had a gray angel. And I wasn't even thinking, my daughter's standing there. I'm over at another part of the booth, and she turns around, she grabs the necklace, and goes, Mom, they must like Doctor Who too because they're selling weeping angel necklaces. Oh,
That's
she's
amazing.
like, I have to have one, and she wore it to school, and I was like, oh god, somebody that is going to be so offended I have insulted their beliefs because my dog, this is a weeping angel on a necklace, and she had bought it.
Kind of fantastic.
That is.
Kind of looked like.
I love that Doctor Who is supplanted religious aspect in this case. Doctor Who.
And we're the non-religious family in a really, really religious area, and I'm always like, we always stick out like a sore thumb anyway because I'm the one person running or biking on a Sunday morning and everybody else is in church, and they see me, they're like, oh, we saw you bike by our church. And
Heathen.
my kid shows up at school with a Weeping Angels necklace, and I'm thinking, please don't get a call home.
Oh God, that is awesome.
But she doesn't know any difference, and she's like, this is what it is. Okay.
Exactly. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, who'd you say otherwise, you know? Yeah,
Right.
that's what it is.
Well, and people will take from it what they will, right? You know, somebody will see Weeping Angel, somebody will just be like, oh, look, Angel.
Right. That's kind of what I'm hoping. I'm like, just don't say anything. Don't get into this Doctor Who conversation with
Unless somebody brings it up first. Oh,
Right.
look, I love your Doctor Who necklace. Okay, score.
Yeah. We can bond.
So
Because my poor kids are the ones watching Goonies and stuff, and they're like, yeah, so they were talking about Dr. McStuffins at school. What's that? And I'm like, I don't know. Go put on the Dark Crystal.
Amen, sister.
Atta girl. Yeah.
Dr.
So-
McStuffins is a really annoying cartoon.
I've heard.
It is one notch lower than Dora the Explorer. And that's not saying a whole lot about it. Dora the Explorer makes me angry. It literally, like if I'm in someone's house and I hear Dora Explorer in the background, my skin starts to crawl. She makes me mad. She just screams everything. It's so annoying.
Yeah, we went
Okay, Dora, that's enough. That's
You're
enough,
here.
Dora.
And we need you down here.
Inside voices, Dora. Inside voices.
for Kelly. I don't think you experienced any of that, did you? Because your kids are old.
No, I'm just trying to. I get the irritation. The depth of the Dora Explorer hate's kind of taking me a little back, to be honest with you at this point.
I hadn't even gotten to the Spanish teacher element, so yeah. Okay.
I think at some point, I can't remember if it was on your show, Kelly, or but it may have been a discussion that Bronwyn and I were having where I said that I would actually feed Dora the Explorer to zombies if I had the chance.
You certainly have mentioned that to me before.
Okay, all right. Then maybe it was a Walking Dead discussion or something. Yeah, I would push her out in front.
She writes it down in a little notebook repeatedly thousands of times. there's a focused dislike here.
Instead of what is it? All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. I would feed Dora to the zombies.
Straight out. Die, Dora, die. Die, Dora, die. Red rum, red rum.
Red rum. Yeah.
I looked out. My daughter got through her Dora phase, and now she's past it right now. The thing that they're obsessed about now is, and I don't know if either of you guys have seen this, is Peter Rabbit. Have you guys watched the Peter Rabbit cartoon that's on Nick Jr. with your kids? Did they watch that?
I didn't even know that was a cartoon. I have old Beatrix Potter books of Peter Rabbit, but my dad actually he censored them because he didn't like the references to beating the children or selling tobacco. So he actually went through and whited them out because he knew I would follow along. So I actually still have one. It's like old school Beatrix Potter with whiteout.
With whiteout on it. But yeah, that's exactly what it's based on. It's based on those stories, and I absolutely hate because it's not giving good values to children. Peter and his friends are stealing carrots and radishes from the farmer, and they're making it seem like, oh, we're doing a good thing. We're doing a good thing. No, you're not. You're stealing from somebody. They're not yours. Okay? And and you end up, another thing is the owl and Squirrel Nutkin in the show is absolutely, I hate Squirrel Nutkin anyway. In this show, he's absolutely 100 times worse. And he goes after Old Brown, which is the owl. It's like, you keep stealing stuff from Old Brown, and then it's a triumph when you beat him, when he's chasing you and you get away from him. No, you're stealing stuff from him. You're bothering him. I want you to get eaten by Old Brown, please. It's just, and my wife and I just look at each other. It's like, I can't believe the kids want to watch this. It's just, it's an absolutely horrible cartoon.
Well, I came into this show thinking I had problems, but I'm feeling a lot better about myself before I leave at this point. So I'd like to thank all of you for that.
But that's
Dylan knows international self-affirmation for those in need.
No, let's get into the international part about this. 4th of July is coming up. It's an American holiday. And 3 days before, we've got Canada Day, which is technically your 4th of July.
No, it's not our 4th of July. It's Canada Day, you jackass.
Well, it's technically the same thing, right? You have barbecues, you go to the beach, parades.
No, not the same thing.
You celebrate guerrilla warfare tactics against the British.
Yeah.
And we celebrate sitting down and having adult dialogue and seceding nicely.
Shit.
Woohoo! Do you do reenactments? That must be thrilling.
I know a lot of people reenactments. Nobody has to die.
Where's the fun in that?
Well, talk to the people who died.
So
They get to lie there in the scorching heat going, this is fun.
So you don't shoot off fireworks then, or what exactly do you do?
Yeah, we do fireworks and stuff like that. We just do it before you.
So it's like you light him, you're like, we're discussing things logically.
It's very exciting. Woo! Rational thought. Woo!
Wow! Bronwyn!
Look,
Not
as
to
long
be
as they-
unpatriotic, but dial it down a little, man. Ouch, needle. Needle.
Well, I've always been interested. I mean, what exactly is Canada Day?
You're pretending to be interested, right? Just to be we're politely pretending to be interested in what Canada Day is.
Trying to drag up the show a little more. Come on.
This would be fascinating. Tell us more about this Canada Day.
I know nobody cares. Oh.
We have fireworks in this neighborhood all the time. It doesn't. We don't require 4th of July here. I'm not quite sure what the deal is. I've never lived in a neighborhood that had as many fireworks as this one. Like Easter was a big karaoke and firework night, and I don't know why.
Wow.
Huge.
Karaoke and fireworks. That's a big deal.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people didn't know that there was karaoke at the Last Supper, so I think that it all works out.
Oh my God, that would be a different painting.
I just know. I'm stopped.
The resurrection jokes that went around here were not appropriate for young audiences. The fireworks involved.
Oh no, we broke Brienne.
Yeah. So
I just have this image of Jesus singing "Jesus Take the Wheel" by Carrie Underwood, and it's just really horrible.
You got Judas doing "You're no good, you're no good." So it's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you burnt me.
Oh my God.
I may have the timing of these releases wrong, but. So I'm not bashful in displaying my own ignorance on about everything. So Bronwyn, I didn't know anything about Canada Day until you shared information. So that was helpful. So
Canada Day is apparently the day when the Canadians were far more polite than we were.
Yes, and you politely
no longer being part of the British Empire.
Oh, so that's what I was going for. Is who did they succeed from? Because I wasn't sure.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, no, we were a British nation, a British colony, but...
All that French talk, where's that come from?
well, we were co-colonized, so
that hurt.
Quebecois, there's a lot of different sort of colonies that happened in Canada because Canada is giant, so lots of people found it. We had the Aboriginal people here first, and then Norse colonies way, way, way back in the day in the East Coast.
So you guys had Vikings, right?
Yep.
You guys had Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings they predate Columbus by a significant degree.
Don't tell the Italians that because they get angry.
I know.
They get
I know.
really mad.
I know they do. There's honestly, like, we have Cabot Trail out in the East Coast, and it's Jean Cabot, but no, you can't tell them that the Vikings were there a long time before that. But
yeah,
most people understand that because we have the historical museum type things set up around the colonies out in the East Coast. But
and when they did that, when they found that one colony and they came out and said that, like, there were protests in this country from the they were so mad.
It's amazing how unpopular nuclear the French colonized as well as the British. There was lots of fur trading and things like that. So Upper Canada and Lower Canada had sort of different colonizing units. So the British and the French, among others. There's a lot of Irish here. And obviously the Scots out in Cape Breton. But in 1867, everybody decided to sort of get together and have a conversation and maybe put together a government, three-tiered, and discuss with the British about the terms of having self-governance. So we still observe the Queen. She's on our money, but she is a figurehead, and we are self-governing and have been since 1867 on Canada Day.
So no guy with a horse running around.
No, I think
folks were coming.
One of those scenarios where the younger sibling learned from like the rebellious, crazy older sibling what not to do.
We don't do that.
Don't pour beverage in a harbor.
Exactly.
Don't
the younger sibling was kind of sitting and watching all the trouble unfold and taking notes.
And let's be honest, their parents are always easier on the second child.
That is true.
Yeah, being a second child, yes, I can totally say that is totally true. My sister's absolutely pissed at me sometimes. So. Oh, great. So yeah, you do learn something every day, which is great. Fantastic. Because I honestly, just like Kelly, I really didn't know much about Canada Day, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to have the discussion. I was just sort of joking when I said, "Oh, let's compare which is better," because different strokes for different folks, But July 4th is always.
Which one's better too.
Now we have the whole week.
Yeah, we should start calling Independence Day United States Day from now on.
She does not have a John Deere parade on her holiday because at 10 a.m. I will be going to the heart of Beaver Dam to the John Deere parade.
I can't say for sure if we have a John Deere parade or not because there are a lot of very rural areas in Canada where John Deere is worshipped quite thoroughly. So. It's not entirely out of the realm of possibility, Brienne, for all that I can't swear to it.
The only time I come across John Deere is at, like, Hobby Lobby in the fabrics department.
You need to drive a little further south in the state, young lady.
I'm good, man. Seriously.
There's plenty. So as long as we're getting our Canadian education knocked off here, so... so Canada, I guess, would breed prize fighter, this Boxer Day thing. So is that prize fighters that rebelled against the Queen, or what's Boxer Day?
Is it Boxing Day, right?
Is it Boxing Day? Oh, so
it's Boxing Day, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Boxer Day. I'm like, is it they all wear it on their drawers, or what's the deal?
Well, it's
I'm sorry, I'm unfamiliar with Boxer Day.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do Boxing Day. It's close enough.
Well, Boxing Day comes from the British vernacular, right? When the people who were the sort of upper crust or whatever would give gifts for the holidays to the household staff, right? So the day after Christmas is the day that you got to pretend to be nice to the people who actually ran the house.
Originally called Regifting Day, was that?
Yeah, right.
That, or as they say, The Simpsons Christmas too. So.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that predates Canada. Our holiday that we have that you guys don't have, I mean, not that we don't have a few of them, but our newest holiday is Family Day in February.
Stanley Day.
Yeah.
Stanley Cup Day.
Nice. We're not good with the holidays in this country. Like there's holidays in China that go on for 3 weeks, and I'm totally fine with that. And I don't understand this like stingy removal and addition of holidays because.
I know. I feel like we should have
cool.
one weekend a month, right?
Well, it's true because like I taught when I teach the 12 days of Christmas because when I get to explaining what they do in Mexico and Spain and in all the Spanish-speaking countries to my students, they're like, whoa, 12 days of Christmas isn't just a song. Christmas is 12 days. Yes. 12 glorious days that you may or may not remember. But yeah.
I'll be lucky if I get 3.
Right.
We'll make them spectacular days, though.
So, good conversation. I think we're going to wrap this sucker up.
Before you wrap up, Dylan, I was sent to this show with a mission. Moment.
Absolutely.
So Bronwyn, this isn't me. I'm just the messenger, okay?
Uh-oh.
I'm just the messenger, so...
Gird your loins.
Oh, that seems bad. Anyway, so the less pleasant people that I hang out with on occasions, it's a very pleasant group of people, but I also on a weekly basis hang out with 2 very unpleasant people who have asked me to, and again, this isn't me, I'm delivering a message here,
no.
which is that from Mike, official pagan, Snark-Alec Radio, Mike's official statement is, if you need to come on Snark-Alec Radio, and if you don't come on Snark-Alec Radio, he's declaring war on Canada. So I was ordered to deliver that information, so you now have that information.
I certainly cannot be responsible for international war breaking out, so I guess I had best put in an appearance.
I'm not really sure how much authority Mike has in invoking war. I think
An international
limited.
incident?
Yes. I'm not sure, but to be on the safe side, so we wanted to extend. So sorry to hijack there, Dylan, but I was given my orders, and so I needed to make sure I did that.
Well, I appreciate that. I'll take one for the team.
That's what everybody says that comes on the show.
But only if we get a preview of Mike and Drag, which he has already discussed right here on Dylan Knows International.
Well, I will be happy to return that message.
Oh man, then I have to be on that show because that's something I have to see.
I'm really
Just you wait.
You can have my spot, Jeans, for that.
Oh my.
Yep.
August 24th, Jeans. August 24th. That's Dylan Knows International. I'll announce it now because 2 of the 4 people involved will be there. Mike, Official Pagan, and myself will be in drag for that episode.
And Brienne
and Bronwyn will be in drag as well.
Just wait.
Is it like reverse drag or I'm?
Yeah,
they're going to be the men, we're going to be the women, and it's going to be a fun time.
Oh.
I would love it. I don't know if that's when WizardCon is here, so I may not be able to make that. We'll have to see.
Okay, you'll just have to watch the recording if we get.
Yeah, exactly. Just watch the recording.
Is WizardCon the one at Rosemont?
Rosemont,
or is that...
yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And come now.
That's
Kelly's going to be there then now too.
Or gender bending Dylan Knows.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm not even going to tell you what we're going to do in October, but that's a secret right now. So, so I planned ahead. I've got pretty much through October planned for Dylan Knows International. So, But definitely, I definitely want to have you guys on again, Kelly and Jeans. I've already got Brienne and Bron scheduled, so I don't even
Sure.
need to talk about them. But you guys, I'd like to have you guys on again sometime. Had a lot of fun today. It's great because all of us, with the exception of Brienne, have our own little shows. And actually, Kelly, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, because I'm technologically useless, as you know. You have your podcast, Nurture and Support, with Mel. Just real quick, briefly, how does that actually work? I mean, I know you don't do a podcast. You record through a computer, or how does it actually work?
Hang out and strip the sound, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
we do a hangout on air, but we don't publicize it. So it's just basically the folks that attend. Jeans has done a number of them, and we just pull the audio off of it when we're done, and then Mel. I mean, so just to be kind of, I mean, I think everybody knows, but like Mel does all the work on Nurture and Support. I show up and kind of go, hey, I like Alice Cooper, and then she does everything else.
In all fairness, that's like me and Jeans with Bring Out Your Geek. I show up, but Jeans does all the work. Jeans and Rob.
Yeah, so Mel grabs the audio, chops out the parts where I sound stupid, so that's why you don't hear a lot of me on the show. And she gets the show tightened up, and we have our own theme song that someone wrote for us, so she puts that at the beginning, and she kind of puts that all together, and then loads that up into the interwebs, and it gets onto iTunes, and you can pull it down from the site. And so we just use a Hangout, though.
Okay, fantastic. It's always interesting on how like a podcast in general gets done. So as I said, so Nurture and Support, also Snark Alec Radio every Thursday, 9 p.m. You and two other guys, Tony something and Mike something, 9 o'clock on Thursdays. And I always like to say you guys are the grandpappy of this show, so congratulations. Without you, there would be no Dylan Knows, so I always have to applaud you guys. And Jeans, I've always been impressed by your technical savvy as well, because your show was the second one. You're like the older sibling to me. So that's fantastic. So why don't you just mention your show one more time again?
BringOutYourGeek.com.
Yeah. When's your next new episode? Got one coming up this week?
We are actually going to be recording right after this.
Yay!
Fantastic. Yay. And then Bronwyn, you're doing double duty there. You're on my show. You're on Bring Out Your Geek, and now you're gonna be on Snark Alec Radio sometime. So fantastic.
And I actually just recorded an episode of the Talking Comic Books Book Club show last night. So
that's what Steve does, right?
Yeah. So you can go to talkingcomicbooks.com and go to the book club. We talked about I Kill Giants, which was a phenomenal book.
To get you, as I said, I'm going to try to get him on my comic show, which I do the first of the month, so that'll be coming up down the line. And then Brienne, I will see you next Sunday for Doctor Who. You and Janine, and if anyone else, I can get anyone else next week. It'll be us, but be prepared. It's going to be a fun show, right?
I can't wait. Love me too.
So that'll be fun. So as I said, my next show is Dylan Knows a little about Doctor Who, and we'll probably be focusing more about the first two seasons, since that's really the only ones I've seen, and maybe by next Sunday we'll be about halfway through season 3, so we'll see, get into that a little bit as well. Then July 4th weekend, July 6th, I believe, is my comic show. Right now I tentatively have scheduled the Comicosity Hangout head lady Jessica, who's known as Mom Reads Comics on Twitter. She's going to be coming on with me and my co-host MJ talking comics. Should be a lot of fun. Week after that, I've got Gigi and I got our list show. We're going to be doing top, I think we said 10, like government patriotic type shows, which should be movies rather. It should be pretty interesting to talk about movies based around political stuff. Should be an interesting conversation. After that, got my paranormal show. Larissa should be back, and we might be able to get our friend Midgie Girl, whose computer is finally up and running, get her on the paranormal show. Get her. I'm going to invite her out. I'm going to invite you out now if you're watching Lee, and I'll send you a request back on Twitter in a couple days or so. And then we come back here end of July for Dylan Knows International with Bronwyn and I don't really know who I'm going to have on my as my guest, but it is my vacation week, so I will be recording live from my beach house. So maybe I'll be outside with the ocean behind me or at the pool or something. So it could be a lot of fun. So I'll be in touch with you, Bronwyn, on that. So that's what I've got coming. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me today. I want to thank you all for watching, and have a pleasant weekend. Bye.
Bye.